possible. So, you can tell Mata that we are very inspired by her example. Our Matajis, yes. Our Matajis are preaching very wonderfully since the last 40 years. And they have made it possible that the Krishna conscious family has become a reality. Especially in the world today, our mothers have gone through many crises, especially in the Western world. It is not even imaginable. But in the Western world, under the influence of Christianity, many women who were actually healers, they were murdered, calling them witches. Like anybody who was not under the system was considered something unwanted. But there's no words which can explain that. And the women in the West, they were not allowed to vote in the democratic systems since a short while ago. So there was, in the Western world, a very terrible oppression. And now, in these modern days, officially, this is not anymore tolerated. And therefore, many women have taken up their struggle for gaining some social status in this world. So it is very nice to see that in the Vedic society, the women are seen as representatives of Laxmidevi. That they are the representatives of the goddess of fortune. And offending any woman means all the good fortune is lost. But we have experienced that the women our true mothers, have all the capacity to give protection, to give guidance, to give service to humanity. Therefore, our Bhakti Vinod Thakur has mentioned in, what was this yoga book of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's title? In Prema Pradipa. He has mentioned that there were spiritual leaders at the time of the story. Female spiritual leaders. And we see it in practice. Confronting a very machistic society, we see that Krishna's devotees, they have so much to give. And as a matter of fact, this society, you could say, listens more to the women than to the men. Therefore, they and their beautiful service they're doing to society is a true example. And it also creates a softer atmosphere in society when women take this spiritual leadership. Of course, we never want a competition between male and female. Except a divine Vaikuntha competition. In Vaikuntha competition, you get inspired by what the other person accomplishes who is doing more than you. And you take the example of that person who does more than you to follow it and try to become a better devotee yourself. Prabhupada, he showed us this Vaikuntha competition. Especially in regards to book distribution. When we go out and want to distribute many books to the people, to give pleasure to Krishna, to them and to our spiritual master, or if we are competing about big preaching programs, or we are competing of And if somebody is better than me or has a better performance, should make me more humble, more happy, and more determined to try everything possible to also follow this beautiful example. That is Vaikuntha competition, as Srila Prabhupada has explained to us. And I don't think that the men are altogether ready for it. Some are more than others. To see who is actually doing more preaching, who is actually making more devotees. Who is actually reaching out to more people in the world. But we can understand, by the mercy of Vishnu Priya, that her mercy is here for the whole world. While Mahaprabhu preached all over, Vishnu Priya and Sachi Mata, they preached from Bengal. And their beautiful Mahaprabhu deity is still the main attraction of Navadvip. And the spirit of Vishnu Priya Ashram has spread far and wide. Nowadays we have so many ashrams led by wonderful women. They have preached so much. There's no way to describe it. There's no adequate way to say thank you, dear mothers, for everything you have done. And forgive us for any type of offense you may have felt from the male side. Then some other, maybe you felt you were taken as less important. As a matter of fact, the female power I have seen manifests in that intense desire to wanting to please, wanting to serve, wanting to be a contributor rather than an enjoyer. So therefore, in the desire of our Guru Varga, it is that we all become spiritual masters, both female and male. That is the order of Mahaprabhu. And we should have a very clear picture of it. Even though a spiritual master, he never feels that he is or she is a spiritual master. But as a matter of fact, they are, and that is the hope for this world. So going beyond the physical identification of male and female, we are all Nitya Krishna Das. We are all eternal servants of Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. And everything has happened by their grace. And therefore, we give our fullest respect to the divine preachers who open their heart and sometimes even their home to give shelter to others. And I hope that many women feel that inspiration. Because it's the best way to make the best use of your human form of life. To be a mother is already totally glorious. But to be a distributor of the holy name and to have a spiritual family with many children, that is definitely even more glorious. And the one doesn't necessarily exclude the other. We have seen in the Vedic culture, like people like Sandipani Muni, Krishna's spiritual master, he had his wife and she was the Guru Ma in his ashram. And so there's many examples as such. As a matter of fact, amongst the 7 holy mothers which we distinguish in Vedic culture, one of them is the wife of the Brahmin or the wife of the spiritual master. So it is deep embedded in the Vedic thinking how the divine guidance from the divine women are essential for our spiritual society. And therefore I give from the depths of my heart welcome and appreciation to all these women preachers and those who protect our spiritual family by their example and by their teachings. I hope that in the future there'll be thousands and millions of ashrams led by spiritual women and spiritual men, working together in full cooperation. And maybe, why not, some Vaikuntha competition? Because a little Vaikuntha competition makes you work more harder for Krishna. And that's what competition is all about. To get us to work more hard for our ideals. Lots of love And now I request